You're listening to the AfterBuzz TV network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your number one source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Ian Johnson.
From the AfterBuzz Studios in Los Angeles, California, and streaming live on Ustream, this is AfterBuzz TV for Wilfred. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest Wilfred news and gossip. If you'd like to buzz in on tonight's show, you can buzz us at 424-256-1729. That's 424-256-1729. And now, picking up where the show leaves off and the buzz continues, it's AfterBuzz TV for Wilfred.
AfterBuzz TV.
The lovely theme song.
TV.
Ladies and gentlemen,
AfterBuzz TV.
if Jack would get out of my face, I would tell you all that you are now listening to Wilfred Season 1, Episode 13, Identity, the podcast.
Welcome, everyone.
Welcome. We are here from Studio B on Burbank.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen.
That's AfterBuzz TV's fancy new studio.
Well, real quick, since we have so many shows, usually especially on Sundays and Mondays, and coming up especially Thursdays. Thursday's a big night for TV.
So especially every night.
Yeah.
For AfterBuzz TV.
But
That's right.
especially Thursday.
But especially Thursday, so we're here doing it from Studio B. So if it sounds a little bit different, that's why.
Studio B on Burbank. Boom.
Let's do it.
All right, crew, sound off like Captain Planet.
I'm John Barrett.
I'm Jack Waz, and I represent fire.
Siobhan Hughes, and I represent Earth.
I don't know how to top that, but I'm Catherine Toolage. Thank you. I represent purple.
Catherine represents journalism, which
That's
is
right.
the greatest element of all. Catherine is so nice to join us in studio. For
thank
those
you.
of you who have been following the podcast, she joined us via phone for our first show this year, and it is fantastic to have you.
I thought I'd round it up by coming to the last one.
Excellent.
There we go.
So, Identity. This is one of the darker episodes of an increasingly dark show.
Yes.
We get into some serious shit.
Oh my
Wow.
goodness, do we?
I never thought a show that began with a guy trying to kill himself could do an episode that was somehow darker. But him destroying every relationship that's been set up on the show kind of does that.
Yeah.
It's pretty rad how horrible deep down in the depths of who he is. Ryan
He went to
can
the
be.
dark side, that one.
Well, I
Scary.
guess we're kind of figuring out what I liked about the show is that I think we kind of really see who Ryan is, and that precipitated what happened in the first show because he went down that.
No,
dark road.
absolutely.
Yeah.
I like the little cues, just like how like his voice became so like deadly calm and his
Yeah.
eyes got like deep, and he had
his
he had the
eyes.
slight bit of like a Hitler hair.
I know.
Like he just had like this like the black hair combed over to the side, and just
Right.
like he was just they're setting up evil Ryan.
He was just dressed so evilly. Just so there's
Like-
so much
like any
menace.
TV lawyer.
Yeah. Yes, right. Because all TV lawyers are Hitler. I mean,
No, except for
essentially.
Franklin and Bash, who are delightful.
Right.
What I liked is that it was actually I could still believe that was Ryan from the Ryan that we knew through the rest
Exactly.
of the series.
He's been
and this kind of clueless,
Yeah, he's been evolving, but
Yeah.
has he been evolving in the right way?
He was,
Exactly.
I thought.
Or
Then
was he?
all of a
Because
sudden, nowhere.
Wilfred's done nothing but try to sabotage him since the first episode.
That is
Right.
correct.
Well, this whole question now that he's even questioning who Wilfred is. So,
Exactly.
so
Or
he's now-
if
So
Wilfred.
we
If
get
Wilf-
to the meat of the episode,
Yeah.
which is the fantastic Lost parody that they really just they go to the nines with that.
Yeah.
Ugh.
He said, what did he say? I'm going to make my own...
I'm gonna make
Smoke monster.
I'm gonna make my
Yeah.
own
Smoke monster.
That was the best line,
Yeah.
without a doubt.
That and just the very subtle there's like shoot, what was it? It's yeah, you're dead and you're in the in between. And then then you'll die and you can leave the island.
Right.
Wait, what? No, I said that.
Well, I
The
kinda
island
like
is real.
that whole setup of where, I mean, you almost believed it, where, Wilfred looks at him and says, remember when you tried to kill yourself.
Yeah, it's plates.
It worked. And I mean, for a moment,
I bought it.
You think,
Yeah.
oh my God, this is where it's going now.
Exactly.
And then they turn it into this whole Lost thing, which I thought was
Which is funny
hilarious.
as hell, because I mean, Jason
Yeah.
Jason Gann can just sell. Is it Gann or Gunn?
Jason Gann.
Gann. Jason Gann can just sell it.
Yeah.
Like, just he does deadpan so well. And then
Exactly.
flips around, and we have moments like Bubbles.
The bubbles was great.
The Bubbles might have been my favorite moment of the show so far in the season. Just the pure, unadulterated glee on his face.
I know.
So easily distracted when he has a clear, very important thought to get across to Ryan.
Yeah.
Bubble.
I mean, he's a dog.
That's right.
It's a very good dog moment. It's
That's what I like. I mean,
Yeah.
I like that they go from the fact that that they always throw these dog moments in. Where it's like like this episode, he can't help but chase Bubbles, which then becomes a little bit of his undoing because that's how
Right.
Ryan now starts manipulating
Exactly.
Wilfred.
It's brilliant. I just love the progression of the one bubble to the multi-bubble, and then just when he takes out the bubble
bubble
machine,
blower.
it's such a great payoff.
Yeah, that was the rule
So-
of threes.
I missed last week's episode. What did Jenna do to get in this situation?
She was really hungry and she ate a Tootsie Roll that Ryan and Wilfred had bought from Ryan's guy. It was laced with pot. Which
You
I
can
don't
do
know
that
if you
now?
know. I don't know if you know this, Jack, but pot is a illegal drug that is mostly like it's native to Central America, and it produces sort of mind-altering effects. It's called marijuana. That's
Or mota
Wow, you know,
cannabis.
in Spanish.
I and the entire internet and community am very happy that you just told us what pot was. I have never heard of this strange
Yeah.
substance before.
You have never heard of it, right? Yeah.
Nope. I've just heard of that devil reefer.
It's
The devil's flower.
It might be the same thing. I don't know. I'm not a marijuana doctor.
So Jenna eats a Tootsie Roll.
And as a
Gets
first timer,
really trips
Yeah.
balls.
Yes.
You
On
know.
air. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. She goes on it. She has this just before she goes to debut on what was it, the midday news or something?
yeah, it was
Yeah.
her first time as an anchor.
As a
Nice.
co-anchor, and she totally flips out. So,
Nice. And so who did they set up as her boss? Was he the co-anchor or was he the owner of the station?
Well, that was we saw today. Ray Wise was
Yeah.
who
I love Ray
Twin
Wise.
Peaks,
Yeah,
fantastic.
And Reaper.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love seeing him pop up.
Yeah. Yes, that was another great, cameo. But yeah, so Ray Wise, is the head of
I
the
gotcha.
network, which of course
Really quick-
Ryan goes after to.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
Really quick sidebar. Best cameo of the season, each of you. What would you argue?
Without a doubt, Mary Steenburgen. I loved that episode with the mother, and especially the way it ended when the putty cat was a little bit more than a putty cat.
Oh.
It was Ray
Ray
Perlman,
Perlman,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, I love that. I thought that was just brilliant. I thought she was just hilarious. That was by far my favorite.
Gotcha. Siobhan?
Dwight Yoakam, just because his character brought up so many questions that I needed answered. And I don't know, it's just pretty funny. I love seeing Dwight Yoakam anyway, because it has this very, serious, deadpan, creepy thing going on.
John?
Seconding Dwight Yoakam.
Second Dwight Yoakam? I gotta go with Eric Stoltz. Because it's just, so random and so out of left field. And also, he is part of one of the dirtiest jokes I've ever heard on cable. Which was, yes, this wine was Fatty Arbuckle's favorite.
Which I loved having you guys explain to me, by the way.
Yeah,
I
that
missed this episode.
was history of media artists from freshman year, just regurgitating from my mouth. That is one of the filthiest jokes I think they've ever gotten away with on cable. And it's so just brilliant.
And the way he delivered it was great.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's Fatty Arbuckle's favorite. Just completely off the cuff.
Did he ever come back, by the way? I don't remember.
Fatty
ever seeing
Arbuckle?
him.
No, his career was over after that.
Nope, he went to
He's
jail
dead.
for a long.
Yeah.
Thank you, William Hurst. So where were we? So Ryan goes in and he has, what is it, the black file?
That
Yes.
is correct.
Yes.
And you're not sure if he's going to use it. Has he, has he changed? Is he a better person? But no. The second he sees the love of his life in serious jeopardy, tosses it out.
Definitely.
Now I would love to know what's in the file.
It seemed to be a bunch of dropped suits against her
Pornographic
Cohen.
photos, I don't know.
Yeah,
Who
probably.
knows? The boss, who knows?
I say, I think they could have had a little more fun with that. Like, you know,
Yeah.
if like he moved a thing and then you see like his face and a bunch of like leather around him.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe a herd of goats. You know,
Wouldn't
just
be the
like,
first time they were doing, gimpy stuff
yeah,
on
a gimp joke.
a
on
gimp
this-
joke on
the
Wilfred.
show. No, but so he drops the suit, and then Ryan's Machiavellian plan starts coming together.
Right. What a cruel
But
son
also
of a bitch.
brilliant.
Yeah.
It's like
Yes.
it's like a what are those machines? Like from Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
Like the
A Rube Goldberg
Yeah,
machine?
Rube Goldberg machine.
Oh.
It's just like you see you have all these.
They're like big domino things.
Yeah, like it's a machine that goes through dozens of motions for a very simple task.
like Mousetrap, like the game.
Mousetrap, yeah, exactly. So it's just you see all these people and you're wondering, gee, how
I
could
know.
they?
Mr. Patel?
Yeah, how could they do this?
Yeah,
and then
Mr.
they
Patel,
set up
yeah.
something that's like been going on the entire season with his sister and her husband and
The trip
Jenna
to-
and Chris Klein. Chris Klein's been fantastic in this.
Yeah.
He has actually.
He's usually
made
not
for
my
that
favorite
role.
actor.
He needed a bit of a comeback.
He did, especially after the Street Fighter movie.
Yeah.
Legend of Chun-Li. If anyone hasn't seen that, you totally should. He goes around looking like a third-rate Nicolas Cage, with this southern
so
scowly
accurate.
accent, while the chick from Smallville plays.
Who rocks, by the way. She did a lot of her own stunts. I'm just gonna don't disparage her right now.
Was it Kristen?
Kristen
Crick?
Crick.
Kristen K something. But anyway, yeah, Chris Klein, he needs a win after the past 15 years getting kicked
Is he not doing
around.
the American Pie reunion
Well, yeah,
movie?
American
Yes.
Is he
Reunion.
doing
Yeah,
that?
yeah. He's in the middle of that at the moment. So.
Very excited for that.
Yeah.
American Pie, one of the seminal movies of my childhood.
I'm just glad that Patel showed up because here's a confession. I really would like my cell phone ring to be a line from every single thing I've seen him in because
Yeah,
he's
Jerry
freaking hilarious.
Bednob is funny as hell. He was one of those fun Apatow finds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's him and Apatow go way back. The guy was in did you guys ever see the show Undeclared?
Yeah.
Yes.
Fantastic show, ran on Fox for a couple episodes, debuted right after 9/11, so it kind of killed all of its momentum.
Oh.
But it starred Jay Baruchel, Seth Rogen, Busy Phillips, Charlie Hunnam from Sons of Anarchy, God, who else? A whole bunch of people that have gone on to huge careers now.
Yeah.
It was like half the cast of Freaks and Geeks, like in their college years. It was fantastic. But where's it going with this? Oh yeah, but Jerry Bednob plays again just like a dick Indian guy in it. It's funny stuff.
He's like, the party said 1 to 5.
Yes.
I get 3 more hours.
I got
I'd
2 more
stay.
hours. Yes.
As I believe he's pouring himself a scotch.
Yeah.
So pregnancy.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
All right. This is my biggest complaint about this
called this.
episode is that, well, yeah, I called it, but like any lawyer who's worth his stuff and has ever done a drug test, like a piss test before, knows that pregnancy comes up on that. Like,
But he didn't know that pregnancy was going to come up. Isn't that
But, like-
that was a shock, right?
but I maybe because they haven't really established that Kristen is pregnant.
Yeah.
But she's obviously pregnant. Like, they didn't do a good enough job hiding the fact that the actual actress was pregnant.
First couple
in this
episodes they did.
episode.
But in the actual storyline, though, we
Right,
don't know
but,
she's
like-
pregnant.
I don't know.
Yeah.
See, I think I liked what they did with it, but it's just such a simple fix. As Ryan goes, "Oh no, you should take a home pregnancy test."
Exactly. That's
Oh.
what I thought too.
It's negative.
Instead, he let her
Yeah.
walk away to answer his phone or something. Oh, jeez.
Yeah. So next season's going to be a doozy.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm glad they're doing another season because I don't think it was renewed till probably after they shot the last episode. So just
Yeah, they
as well.
They probably shot.
They debuted to huge numbers.
Yeah,
they debuted to what, like 4 million.
But it wasn't
house-
officially
Yeah.
announced that they were renewing, and certainly when I spoke to them, they still had no idea because FX was kind of
Right.
waiting to see. So they'd obviously planned,
Yeah.
for hopefully a second season, because otherwise we would have been left with
Yeah.
a terrible cliffhanger.
I know, thank God for that. But no, it's they really set themselves up for something. So I mean, I'm sure we're gonna see Dwight Yoakam again.
Yeah.
Oh, I hope so.
I love him. I had never really knew who the guy was before the Crank movies, which are one of my biggest guilty pleasures because Jason Statham running
We
around.
all love Jason Statham.
He's a star.
I'm a heterosexual man, but Jason Statham is a hottie. Like, he is a good-looking human being.
Even
Can
balding.
we get that? Can we get
Even
that? That disclaimer: the views expressed herein are not, because I don't think AfterBuzz
They do not
TV.
necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.
I believe everyone on planet Earth would agree that Jason Statham.
No,
is
that's not
good-looking.
what I'm
it's
disagreeing with. I'm disagreeing with your claim to be a heterosexual male.
Oh.
Thank
Oh,
you,
now.
John.
Because I agree that Jason Statham's like
He could kick your ass, too.
is all kinds of man.
You know, let's hope that he has a cameo in the next season.
All right.
yes.
He can play some sort of.
Let's hope he has a cameo
I'm
in
sure they'll
everything
hear this, they'll
every
hear this and they'll
season.
sign him up.
We're getting him so much work right now.
Going back to your cameo, Peter Stormare.
Oh,
as
that's right.
The bum. As
What was his name?
His face or
Dirty. I don't forget what it was.
oh, what was it? Garbage face.
Yeah, that's
it was
what
Garbage
that
Face.
sounds,
I'd like to see some Aussie cameos in the next one, like Russell Crowe.
That'd be
Oh.
fun.
Yeah. He's gonna break out a telephone and just throw it at somebody.
Yeah, Chris Lilly.
I
He'd be
think
fun to
he
have.
could take on Wilfred. I think that would be a good one.
Let's see what other Australian
Hugh
crossovers
Jackman.
have we had? Hugh Jackman.
Oh, he would definitely come on the show.
Paul Hogan. What's he done in the
Paul-
past 25 years?
Well, he's running away from tax fraud in Australia, so we probably,
Uh-oh.
won't, we,
Really?
won't, we probably won't hear from
He's the
him much.
Australian Wesley Snipes.
Exactly.
I love it.
Also,
make a series of
also
vampire
true because
movies
he's the
next.
blackest man in Australia.
Is he?
It's true. Paul Hogan is the blackest Australian.
And then maybe we could have a reunion of the original character in the Australian one come back on.
That'd be fun.
Adam Zwar, who is
Does
one
he
of the
still
creators.
want anything to do with it?
No, they
That's what I
had a
thought.
falling out.
Yeah,
so
that's what I thought.
Jason and Adam just don't speak anymore.
Is it because Jason Gone decided to go do the American version, or?
Well, Adam kind of gave it up and just said he didn't want to, because they'd been doing this since 2001.
Wow.
So he kind of didn't really want to keep pursuing what he thought was a kind of juvenile thing in a way. But,
Right.
but Jason was smart enough to realize.
There is money to be made on American television.
That's right.
And I'm going to become an American superstar.
Exactly. Because actually, I spoke to Jason a couple of weeks ago. He'd just been to Australia and. They're just debuting this version in Australia. And I said, because there was so much skepticism about it, he said, there's people that like it, but there's still the knockers there going that you sold out, how could you do this?
Well, there's always going to be people that say that.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of which, Catherine, you've interviewed now for a second time Elijah, right?
Yes.
And
exactly.
the rest of the cast, or who from the cast?
No, just Jason and Elijah, yeah.
Just Jason and Elijah. Well, do you guys want to do a quick commercial, then we'll come back with that, and then we can talk about the next season?
I like the
Love
way
to.
you think.
That's right.
Let's go to commercial.
I gotta think for all of you.
We're all dumb.
Want to find out what the AfterBuzz is about?
Janice is a drama queen.
This is the divide that is going to carry the series.
Give us a call. 424-256-1729. 424-256-1729.
It's television, and they want it to be as dramatic as possible.
I mean, it's Shakespearean.
You never know what goes on behind closed doors.
Find out why AfterBuzz TV is the #1 source for after-show content.
Now, in the eyes of Jimmy, Nucky is a villain.
424-256-1729. 424-256-1729.
I mean, who would you guys rather hear that from? Your husband or your best friend?
The wig! The wig will come out.
When the TV show is over, get your AfterBuzz on.
Voraciously devouring the way things are today. Savagely
What is that?
Are we back on?
What is this?
Is it a Disney movie? What's this?
Oh, Reefer Madness.
Reefer Madness. Love it.
Welcome back, listeners. Reefer Madness.
Great, that's great.
That's an old classic.
Well, that's the
The
recent
new one. Yeah.
musical version.
It's from
of
2002. It's an old classic.
Oh right.
We were in
Really old.
8th grade.
Yeah, we were in 8th grade when that came out. Jesus Christ. We are babies.
Yep.
You are. 8th grade.
Yes, sir.
So before we get back, we had a huge oversight and forgot to tell everyone out there in listener land
About
to
the-
go buy Every
the
Girl's Guide
to Life.
Yes.
We can't stress this enough. The Every Girl's Guide to Life.
Jack was on heroin.
I was.
I found him in the streets. He was crawled up. He like curled himself into some sort of oddball shape.
You know, I was
dumpster.
actually blind.
He was
believe it or not.
blind.
I was
He was
blind.
blind.
And we rubbed Maria's book on my forehead, and then I gained the gift of sight.
And quit heroin the same day.
I didn't say that.
Without withdrawals. Oh, that's why there were no withdrawals.
I'm sorry, that is hilarious.
Anyway, it helped him to slowly wean himself off heroin.
We'll chalk up the sight to Maria's Guide to Life. I'm not sure if it can cure your substance abuse issues, but if you have any sort of physical abnormality, it can cure it.
By rubbing it on that physical abnormality.
Oh, let's not.
It's true.
There
And
you
that is a guarantee from the good people at AfterBuzz TV. Play the disclaimer, I dare you.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.
There you go.
That is true.
So, we have a great special segment today.
Do we ever?
So, Catherine had another sit-down with Elijah Wood and Jason Gann, and we would love to play a little snippet of it. So, Phil...
Oh, we don't have
We don't have it.
We don't?
You just put him on the
I
spot.
can find it.
You put his
Oh,
ass
you
on the
you son of a
spot.
bitch.
Phil's
I set you
VTech.
up.
Doing his job.
Yeah.
Where's Jesse Janity?
Phil.
He would have had it.
Phil, you're
DJ Jesse Janity
you're
would do
a
it.
terrible producer.
No, well, see, here's how it works this time around. Catherine's going to talk about the interview. She'll leave out a few things, and you guys will go and watch it.
Ah.
So first and foremost, where can they find this?
If I can find this, I have to remember. Well,
I think it was on
the
like Grammy, Golden Globes.
It's on the Golden Globes website. So I think it was the lead story, but I think now if you just look through it, you'll probably click on it. So yeah. So.
Excellent. So everyone in listener land, please check that out. Especially Phil, who should be better prepared for the shows that we do. Especially when we have such lovely guests.
I was told, so here's how it worked out. They were supposed to be in Studio A. And then all of a sudden, they're like, let's do Studio B. And with them, see, here's the...
It's because those jerkheads on Project Runway decided to take up our sweet space.
There you go.
But our sweet time.
There you go. There's the reason. But nonetheless, we have Catherine.
That's true. Who was like,
Right
a
around.
living article.
There you go. So, Catherine, how's your talk this time with Elijah?
It was great, actually. He was. It's funny because when I met him on the set, I think maybe because he was working and maybe more into the character, I felt like he wasn't that. I mean, he's a nice guy, but he wasn't like that friendly.
Right.
Yeah.
He was just kind of giving me very short answers, whereas Jason was kind of chatting away. And this time he was just so relaxed, maybe because we wasn't on set.
He was
Just
probably-
totally different guy.
He's probably
Totally different. Sorry, what was
Nothing.
I'll say I've noticed we were working with an Australian producer on the last show we were doing, and whenever our Australian producer met another Aussie, immediately it was just a click, just like, oh, you're from Australia. It's just like the expat thing. Like you're just so excited to hear that accent again. It's just like, oh, perfect.
Exactly.
We can talk for ages.
Yeah, exactly.
We have a shared cultural love of Yahoo Serious and Vegemite.
And a common complaint of American coffee. But anyway, that's another story.
Ouch.
We
Love
share
it.
that.
So what were the circumstances where you met the two of them again?
Well, it was basically just sort of a wrap-up interview after, Wilfred had it was sort of for the Hollywood Foreign Press because we kind of do interviews with, I guess, potential Golden Globe nominees. Or we hope. I think they
What
hope.
are your thoughts on Ricky Gervais?
Oh, I better not say that. I think Ricky's great. So it was basically a wrap-up interview just to sort of, they'd finished Elijah, I think, had recently been to New Zealand for The Hobbit, and he said he was going to be going back. So Jason had just been in Australia doing PR for this for the show down there. So so it was just kind of an end of season wrap-up interview. So yeah, and they both seem very happy, very relaxed, as you would be, and they're both very excited about the fact that they're going to go into another season with this.
Excellent.
Copy that.
Yeah.
I didn't realize Elijah was going to be in the Hobbit.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's been a thing.
Yeah, I don't remember Frodo being in the Hobbit.
No,
Not.
Frodo is not actually in the Hobbit story, but they introduce him in a way.
So are they going to have who was it? Ian who
McKellen?
played? No, not Ian McKellen. Who played Bilbo in the original trilogy?
Oh.
I had heard originally that was the plan.
So you can have him, then they're going to have Martin Freeman
Well, they have someone younger. Probably.
Yeah, Martin Freeman is the Hobbit, right? From yeah, he's the guy from British Office and Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Yeah. Very excited for that. Funny as hell.
Yeah.
Very good guy.
But Elijah said he's going back to New Zealand, I think, pretty soon to do some more shooting. So he hasn't quite finished his bit yet. But I think he's only got a small part. It's not like he's a major part in The Hobbit. But he was just saying it was great to be back with the crew, back with everybody.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. I actually asked him if Jason had taught him any Australianisms. He said he's so used to being around kind of Kiwis and Aussies that he's basically from New Zealand. Yeah, exactly.
I mean, Peter Jackson is pretty much his second father.
That's right. Yeah. And I thought he said one interesting thing. Did he ever try on the dog suit? And he said no. He said he did try the head on for a little while. So I would love to have seen Elijah walking around the set with Wilfred's head on.
He's such a tiny little man.
I can't imagine what that suit smells like.
I know.
It's got to just be like bong water and sweat.
Yeah, exactly. Well, he's got a few different ones, so at least you can change them around.
Oh, I didn't want to know that.
He has the formal suit.
Well, yeah, he has a suit that looks like he hasn't bathed for. Haven't you noticed the changes? Yeah, there's the ones.
I just wanted to believe that there was some person whose job it was to make that look messier. And
yes, costumer.
I know.
John, I thought you worked in entertainment.
I don't. I've been lying to you.
Here in Los Angeles, we work on things called movies and television shows.
Go on. What are these things?
And on these
moving pictures,
on these magical moving pictures, you can do things like get coffee for people and be screamed at.
I'm used to being screamed at. That's for sure.
It's a wonderful world.
Fantastic.
All right, guys, we do have the interview.
All right,
so
let's play that.
All right.
That was fancy.
Thank God you did your job, Phil.
Fancy footwork there.
All right, here we go.
Ryan starts to develop a little bit more strength and sort of combats, I think, Wilfred a bit, and starts to question Wilfred's existence and why he's there. And those two elements really kind of come to a head at the end. The finale is really sort of a culmination of those ideas. And I'm very excited for people to see it. It's a unique ending, and it sort of takes, it takes a turn from being an absurdist comedy to actually dealing with some really weighty things and to some realistic things that the characters are going through. And I'm really excited about those episodes.
Are you excited that a new season's going to be?
Very excited. I can't wait. And I think, like I said, I think I'm really excited about these last episodes and where the show goes. And I feel like the next season, the show will continue to go in a similar direction. And I'm excited about what we can cook up for next season.
You've gone back to The Hobbit. What was that experience like?
Extraordinary. I mean, it's not often you get to revisit an incredible and important time in your life. And it was sort of felt like a family reunion. And I'm still going to New Zealand later in the year, so I'm very much looking forward to going back and seeing old friends. And there's actually quite a lot of characters who are coming back, and I think it'll help bridge, for the fans of Lord of the Rings, it'll help bridge the gap a little bit, and I know a lot of people are very excited to see some familiar characters.
Excellent. That was a great interview. Thank you for finding that, Phil.
No problem.
Thank you for doing that, Catherine.
That was pretty good.
It's pretty excellent. So we on to predictions.
You want to do that?
Yeah,
or anything else you want to say about Elijah or the interview?
Well, I just, I think that he was saying about the fact that I think how Ryan's character developed. So I think that's what we were talking about, and I think that's what was the great development of this show and the way it ends. And I think we'll lead on to many things that we can predict for the second season. I think basically, yeah.
And now, your
AfterBuzz TV predictions.
I love this music.
I love the theremin.
Yeah, it's great.
Where did you guys find a theremin?
That's Sir Richard Wentworth, our announcer. He's crazy. He does all our bumpers.
And he has a theremin?
Do you not have a theremin?
I wish I had a theremin. Where do you buy those?
I didn't even know you could still get one.
Yeah, can you go to Best Buy and be like, gee, I want to pick up this Adult Swim collection and buy a theremin.
There's a theremin section at most Best Buys. What Best Buy are you going to that there isn't a theremin
They don't have them in Burbank. I have to go to a different Best Buy.
Yeah, you have to go to the one in Atwater Village.
How about Target? Do you think Target would have that?
Target has limited selection of theremin.
Guitar Center.
Guitar Center?
You know what? You'd be surprised. Guitar Center has okay theremins.
They're such sellouts. I don't think I could buy a Guitar Center theremin.
By the way, we do have to predict things.
Predictions. So, guys, next season, what do you see coming up?
Just based on like how they play with us throughout this whole season, I feel like Wilfred's gonna come back and just be like, "Ha, gotcha, buddy."
Yeah.
I built that fake closet in the doorway to your basement.
I think it's going to hint more at the fact that Wilfred is basically evil Ryan this whole time.
So they're gonna fight club.
They're going to definitely
Ryan
have
is
an emotional.
schizophrenic?
Yeah, he's schizophrenic like his mom. Whatever.
Well, I think, I mean, obviously the balance is going to happen more now because it would seem like Wilfred was kind of driving the agenda. So now we know it's perhaps going to be Ryan driving the agenda. So how they integrate Wilfred back into that, I think is going to be really interesting. And what will that basement turn out to be?
I know, right? It's ballsy going through this whole season without having, like, setting up a love interest and not having, like, the hookup or the kiss, which I think is... I know. I like it. I like the fact that they always made Jenna so unobtainable, and that Ryan never really deserved her, but it's like starting to kind of become the guy that maybe she needs. So I like that they're holding off till the next season for that.
I have to say that's the one problem I've got with the show. I don't actually think Jenna is such a great character.
Thank you.
She's not.
No,
Thank you.
I don't think she's like...
I don't like her.
Yeah, I have to agree with you. I think that's kind of the one thing that I found disappointing about this whole season.
What is
it's
it?
like, why would you
Yeah.
want this
Yeah,
girl?
It's only because she's cute and he's attractive.
They
That's
made
what
her
it is.
incredibly unlikable, especially in the
really unlikable.
in the hospice episode.
Yeah, I just don't like her. I mean, like as I probably mentioned before, the Australian shows were very different because they were in a relationship.
Yeah.
And Wilfred and the girl in that is hilarious. The Australian girl, she's fantastic, and you really like her. But I don't know what they decided to do with this Jenna character because that's the one thing I have a problem with this series.
They've been weak writing for women on the show. For like the small bit parts, they've been doing fine. Like for the mom, she was hilarious, or for Rashida Jones's character. But their main women, they've been really weak with their characters.
Yeah, exactly. So they're going to have to do a vast improvement on Jenna in the next
Yeah.
season. She's going to have a
It's the-
total makeover,
Exactly.
or someone else is going to have to move in next
They
door.
have to make her desirable to the viewers.
It's the exact
for it
same.
to work.
It's the exact same thing as Entourage.
Yeah.
Either they hate women or they fear them. But
Right.
either way, they can't write for them.
This is true. Although I will say this about this episode, I thought she was cute before. This was the episode where I was like, "Oh my god, she's beautiful." This was the first episode where I had that reaction to Jenna.
Really?
I think you're into women that are evil.
Probably. That's probably what it is.
I think
because deep
that's-
down in the pit of who I am a horrible black soul of nothingness.
It's
and
true.
hate.
I've seen you throw up that black soul on my carpet in Boston.
that happened once. Thank you, Jack.
That was a
for
great
bringing
St.
that
Patrick's Day.
up. Ladies and gentlemen.
And on that note,
Hey. Oh, there's my mic. So, thanks for listening to Wilfred episode 13, which, incidentally, if you couldn't pick up, was the season finale. We'll be back at ya with this when it comes back next year.
And be sure to check out Archer and South Park and whatever
other shows we end up picking
doing.
up.
Well,
And especially-
Archer's the big one. I mean, that's an FX show, and it's come back next
True.
week.
Archer next
But
week.
The biggest thank you of the night, again, Catherine, thank you so much
Thank you for
coming in tonight.
inviting me to this lovely
Love having you.
toasty.
Yeah, I'm sorry we brought you into our Indian sweat lodge
Yeah.
for our last show.
But
Hey,
in fairness, you have gone on your vision quest.
yes, that's right.
Now you have to go survive in the woods of Encino for about a week.
Exactly. I'll
Remember,
never find my way home.
if you eat a snake's heart, you'll gain his powers.
And hey, we gotta thank. The reason why I think it's because Greg Goodness was the glue of this show.
Who?
And Greg Goodness.
oh whoa!
I'm sorry, who?
Oh yeah, yep. All right, Greg Goodness, and that's why he sent me an email saying, "Hey, kick these guys in Studio B. Make sure it's hot."
Of course.
Steaming hot.
I'm gonna go beat him
I'm
up.
gonna
when I
write
see
him a
Yeah.
very nasty email when I get home.
Greg Goodness, you are the bane of my existence.
All
Love
right.
you, Greg. Missed you.
She's
Well-
lying. She's being ironic.
John, thank our fans on behalf of
Thank
Greg.
you, fans.
Thank
on
you,
behalf
fans.
of Greg Goodness, Jack Waz,
Siobhan Hughes.
Siobhan Hughes, Catherine
Tulich.
Tulich. I knew that. I was just building suspense. Phil Svitek, our producer this time, our usual DJ Jesse Janity, and myself, John Barrett.
We thank you so much.
From producers Kevin Undergaro and Phil Svitek, engineer DJ Jesse Janity, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. If you have questions or comments, be sure to buzz us at info@AfterBuzzTV.com. And you can find us on Facebook or follow us on Twitter by searching for AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.